Powerful phones are in more demand now than they've ever been before. Everyone seems to crave a better camera, more RAM, a smoother operating system, and in turn end up craving a far more expensive product. But what if there was a company that accomplished the same thing OnePlus did with their phones, but better? In which case you guys need to take a look at the Gemini Pro provided by the guys from Ulefone. On the outside, this phone looks like your standard flagship smartphone, but little do you normies know this little beast only costs $260. Okay, so let's talk features. You'll find this phone packs a lot of very useful features like a capacitive fingerprint scanner, which is very quick and hasn't misread a single tap. We also have a mono speaker, which is actually pretty exceptional given the price. It holds good clarity, and although it produces some nice bass, the highs are perhaps a bit too prevalent, making it slightly whiny. Besides the speaker, we also have a microphone along with a USB-C port for super fast charging and data transfer. In fact, you can charge this phone up fully in no more than an hour and a half, and that will give you over a day's usage with that 3680 mAh battery. Anyway, on the right side we have our power button along with two volume up and down buttons, although I wish this was a rocker, placed on the opposite side to make pocket use easier. On the opposite side we have a dual SIM or dual SIM and expandable storage slot, and then on the top is our headphone jack, although I wish this was on the bottom. At least it's included though. On the screen side we have our capacitive fingerprint sensor down the bottom, and the two spaces either side of it don't actually include a generic back and app tray capacitive button, so you can use them for gripping when watching videos or playing games, which is nice. Looking past the 1080p screen we have our earpiece, LED notification indicator, and holy shit, an actual torch! Yep, there's a torch on the front of the screen, and this is a feature I wish was on my OnePlus 3. The last thing on the front of the screen is a surprisingly decent 13 megapixel camera, which yields some pretty detailed pictures. When zoomed there is some noticeable grain produced by the post-processing effects, but it's still relatively sharp and definitely usable. Videos are also great on the Selfie Cam. The camera supports 1080p video recording and seems to do admirably in low light. For the common consumer, you're going to really like these small improvements as they do a lot for functionality and overall quality of the phone. Flipping the device around we get to see that nice metallic red, or black if that's your preference, unibody shell. A quad LED flashlight which is very bright, and that distinctive dual lens camera. The 16 megapixel main camera on this I feel was pretty gimmicky to go for the dual lens option. Although you can get some impressive results with some nice bokeh, that outcome is rare and the conditions for such a shot require the scene to be well lit and your hands to be very still. A lot of times it doesn't work no matter how much time you spend on perfecting the shot. The main camera is used as a regular camera and the other is used as a zoom camera, much like with the iPhone 7. If you like to take pictures of wildlife or horticulture, then the added detail when zoomed will be a nice benefit for you, but for the average person it won't make all that much difference. Regular photos in the Gemini Pro are decent, even in low lights. They have a reasonable amount of detail, and the camera app you use to take these photos is not only intuitive, but also fairly in-depth. The Pro mode lets you change saturation, brightness, contrast, exposure, white balance and ISO, but unfortunately not the focus. It has a live photo mode, so it will capture a few seconds leading up to when you press the capture button, and finally a dedicated night mode, which just clears up some grain to make a clearer image at night. Along with the bokeh mode I mentioned previously, there is finally a monochrome mode which turns your captured images into black and white. I'm not sure whether the second lens is monochrome only or whether this is done through a filter, but snapping pictures is a lot quicker on the monochrome setting, so it's definitely possible. The camera is also capable of 4K video, which is nice at this price. There are options for 1080p and lower, but I don't know why you pick them as they don't really seem to result in a higher frame rate, which is annoying. I have no doubt an update would be able to fix this, however it's just if they, can be bothered to. Thankfully there is electronic image stabilization with 4K video, so your footage won't be shaking like a crack addict going through withdrawal. One thing that always annoys me about phone recordings is when the phone constantly tries to adjust its focus, even when it's already focused correctly, which ends up blurring the shot. With this camera it doesn't automatically adjust the focus. To adjust the focus you have to tap on the subject. In a lot of ways this is a really nice feature, or lack thereof, but I still would have liked the option in the settings to turn autofocus on or off. Benchmarking the Gemini Pro has been very surprising. Despite its low price, this phone is even able to beat out the OnePlus 3 in some scores, and that comes of no surprise when you look at what specs this phone is packing. Inside we have a 10-core Helio X27 CPU, which beats the OnePlus 3 in multi-core scores, although falls a bit short in single-core performance. On the memory side, we've got our standard 4GB of RAM and a nice and roomy 64GB of Super-Speedy internal storage. The 5.5 1920x1080 IPS display is simply put phenomenal. I expected at this price something low res and bland, but instead we have this gorgeous high PPI, vibrant and contrasty display, which has some bloody good performance in black levels to the point where you'd actually have a hard time distinguishing between this and an AMOLED screen. A very hard time. Moreover, there seems to be next to no latency, so scrolling in general use is extremely responsive, snappy, and provides a good user experience, definitely important in any phone, and thanks to that generous 4GB of RAM, it will remain so for a very long time. The RAM allows for a lot of multitasking, and with a pretty much stock Android 7.1, this is easier and quicker than ever before, particularly because there's no bloatware on this phone to slow you down. You'll get the same speed and longevity out of this phone that you will with the Galaxy S8, and that is all because of these outstanding specs. The phone has all of the features you come to expect from a modern phone. It has gestures, much in the same style as the OnePlus 3, 4G LTE, a Gorilla Glass screen, GPS, Bluetooth, that kind of stuff. It also comes with a free leather texture case, this thing, a screen protector and a few other nice goodies. All in all, the only major shortcomings of this phone is the fact that it has no slow motion video or 60fps video functions, and the fact that it doesn't have NFC, which means no Android Pay, and that's a damn shame because I use that a fair bit, but I guess I'll just have to carry my card on me. God damn it, 2016. That considered, those seem to be the only differences between a $250 phone and a $600 phone. So yes, the silky smooth performance in regular phone use, the great gaming performance when on the move, the decent battery life, the very fast charging, the exceptional selfie camera, and decent but finicky dual rear camera, the incredible screen, intuitive UI, fast and reliable fingerprint scanner, and absolutely stunning metallic red slim unibody design is definitely worth $250. In fact, there is no contest. I could easily replace my OnePlus 3 with this. Someone with an S8 could easily replace theirs with this. This is an exceptional package at an exceptional price, and nothing more needs to be said other than please include NFC next time. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching my review on the Ulefone Gemini Pro. If you like the look of this phone, then please head down to the description where you can find out more about it and how to purchase it. If you like the look of my content, then please head to that subscribe button or show your appreciation by tapping that like button. I love your face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Terra.